Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I'm terrible at being consistent. I keep saying I'm gonna try a bit harder, but I've actually got some models booked up for the next couple of weeks, so that's good. Anyway, for today's look, I'm just gonna start by cleansing the skin, and then I'm gonna prime using the Becca Illuminating Primer. I'm just gonna apply this all over this face and let it kind of sink in and let the skin absorb that whilst I do the eye makeup. Kind of like to do this first so it's not really slimy when I start to apply. Slimy is the right word? Anyway, before I do the foundation, I let it sink in a little bit. For the brows, she really didn't want me to touch them very much because apparently like any kind of friction on them, they kind of said they fall out quite easily. So I'm really delicately filling them in with the NYX brow pencil. The brow pencil colour I used was like a taupey shade. I like to do, taupe, sorry. I like to do that when, especially on blondes, they're not too warm, the brows. Then I'm just going to prime using the MAC Select Cover Up Concealer. I always use this concealer. I like to buff it out after I've applied it with a like a fluffy concealer brush, just so it's not too thick and creamy, because it can crease quite easily. And then I'm going to set that using any sort of translucent powder or eyeshadow that's kind of skin toned, just so it's not really sticky when we try and blend out the eyeshadows. You can like get away with not setting it, but I prefer to set it. So now for the, I'm using the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, the newer one, and I'm taking the shade Silk Creme. I think it's called Silk Cream, no idea. Silk Creme. I'm just going to buff that into the outer corners using a large fluffy brush. This one's by Coastal Scents. It's about $3. I really recommend these brushes. They're quite soft. Okay, they're not going to last you as long as a really expensive brush like from like Viva or MAC, but I find them really good. And anyway, if you lose one, you're not super pissed off. I mean, when I lose a MAC brush, I get flipping livid. It's like $30. After that, I'm going to go in with the shade Roxanne, a really warm orangey tone, kind of a rusty tone. I'm going to blend that into the outer corner and just over that Silk Creme there, but using a slightly smaller brush. I think I'm using a MAC 217 for this. My only MAC 217. I thought I'd lost it the other day. Oh, tragic. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to go and buff that lightly into the outer corner, trying to not take it up as far as the Silk Creme. I do go backwards and forwards with my brushes to kind of blend out the edges, so you can't really see where one starts and one ends, so it's kind of like a nice diffused look. To highlight the brow bone, I'm just taking a light from the same palette. It's just like a nice kind of bone shimmery colour. Going back in again with that Roxanne, gradually building up the colours. I don't know why, I can't seem to get the back of my head out of the videos. Anyway, on a flat concealer brush, I'm taking the shade Meeks. It's like a dark, I don't know, I can't really describe that colour, rusty, goldy bronze colour. Just taking that all over the lid and then stopping at the outer corner. Going over the edges again with that Roxanne. And I do go next to it, there's a darker colour of that Roxanne called Jax, just to deepen it up a little bit. I just didn't show you the colour. But if you've got the palette, you'll know what I'm... So for foundation, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fixed in NC15. I'm going to mix that with a little bit of the MAC Essential Oil. It just gives it a more dewy, lighter finish. It's great for younger skin, older skin, people that don't really want that full matte look. And yeah, so I'm applying that and then I'm just blending it in with my sponge. After that, I'm going to go in the under eye area with a little bit of Benefit Erase Paste. It's got like a salmon-y tinge to it, so it's really great for counteracting any dark circles under there. If your client has even darker circles or is a darker skin tone, I like to go with something a bit more orange, but she's quite light skin, so it worked fine on her. And after that, I just apply my brightening concealer, which is normally for younger skin. I use the MAC Select Moisture because it's not so full coverage. And it's not drying at all, which I really enjoy about this concealer. I really recommend it if you don't need a lot of coverage. I really hate the back of my head. Can you see how bad my hair is in this? I've actually had my hair done since then, so. But yeah, try to ignore my fat face there. Yeah, to set that, I'm just going to use the Chanel Universelle powder, I don't know, natural. It's an amazing powder. I find it doesn't really enhance any lines. I use it on myself. So I'm going to cream bronze today using the Rcma VK palette. I think this is the Shinto palette. I will link it exactly in the description box which one it is. It's a really nice warm toned bronzer. It's going to really give the skin a little bit of life back after our pale foundation. Just like to blend that in a little bit with the MAC Prep and Prime Essential Oils. Just blend that in again with my Real Technique sponge. And it gives a little bit of dimension back to the face. I'm not contouring with this palette, I'm just bronzing. So obviously contour needs to be a bit more of a cooler toned. I do that in a minute with powder. Just fancy trying this for some reason, cream bronze. So I'm going to set all that again, just go over it really lightly with powder. I don't like to throw a lot of powder on people's faces. Very, very light hand with this. And then going over those areas that I bronzed with the Hoola Benefit bronzer. Again, my stupid head in the back of in front of the camera. To contour, I'm going to use my NARS Eater brush, and I'm just going to go in the usual areas where you contour to define the face a little bit further, using the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, tried true favourite of mine. If you do get any in the hairline, especially difficult when you've got super fair haired ladies, just go over with a clean pad and a little bit of powder, and it will get rid of any foundation-y, powdery look in the hair. For blush, I'm using Hushed Tone by MAC. It's a really nice bronzy, shimmery blush. It's really great for summer, and for people that don't like to use a lot of highlighter, you can just use this instead because it has a shimmery finish. What's the called? Frost. That's it. Bloody hell. It's an extra dimension skin finish one. After that, I'm just going to go under the contour a little bit with some translucent powder. Just tidy up a little bit. It's a really great tip if you go a bit too far down. I'll just wipe it off straight away so it doesn't leave any extra texture on there. Just brushing that off. Just going to highlight using the MAC, what's it called? I mixed two. I use the MAC Double Gleam and a Makeup Forever, the gold one, that you can buy in individual pans. I'll link down below which one it is as well. I can't remember the name. I don't even think it's got a name. I think it's like a number. So once that's done, I'm going to just buff in Rcma under the eyes. On a slightly fluffy brush. A flat fluffy brush, if that makes any sense. Just as our first transition colour. After that, I'm going to go in with a green colour. It's a foiled silvery green. You'll see in a minute that I just apply that under the eyes and wing it out using a smaller, more defining brush. And there we go, that's the Diva from the same palette. All these eyeshadows are from the same palette, so if you have this palette, you can recreate this look, no problem. So as you see, I'm just winging it out a little bit on the lower lash line. I think it just gives it a little bit of an extra twist, just something a little bit different. Excuse my head again. Once that's done, I'm going to apply some lip liner. This is by BH Cosmetics, a really affordable brand. This is the shade Earth, and then I'm going to go over that with the Viva Glam by MAC. A really nice goldy nude lipstick. It's got gold flecks in it. Just going to apply some Vivis Collection lashes. So after I've applied those, I just apply a little bit of mascara, some nude eyeliner in the waterline, and then I go over the lash band with a little bit of a darker eyeshadow. Apply a little bit of glitter from the Moondust to Urban Decay, and that's the end of the video. I was a bit rushed at the end there, I couldn't get all my words out. But I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, share, and yeah, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot, bye.